Hello, if you are watching this little video, it is because you are wanting to understand how on track you are for graduation and to understand your transcript. So let's get started. We're going to walk you through a step-by-step instructions on how you can make sure to know what you are missing and what you need to take to graduate from Huntington Beach High School. In order to do this, you will need two forms that should have been provided you in your second period. The first is a copy of your unofficial transcript, and the second is a copy of the graduation worksheet. The graduation worksheet is also available on our homepage if you want to do it online as a Google Doc. That's also an option, but for this, we're going to have you walk through it with pencil and transfer. So with these two things in front of you, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is on your transcript, so the other paper you can set aside, but on your transcript, you're going to check your personal information, which you'll see, which has your name, your parents' name, your address, and you want to check for this. If there are any mistakes, you want to submit the correct information to Mrs. Vega in the office with verification of where you live and the correct address. But double check that that's all correct. After that, you're going to look for your total weighted GPA, which is on the bottom left of the transcript. Once you find that, you're just going to circle it. This is the GPA used for sports and to make sure that when people talk about your GPA and eligibility, this is what we're talking about. So we just want to make sure you know where it is and where you can find it. Once you've done that, still on your transcript, the third thing you're going to want to do is you're going to find the number of completed credits, which is the middle column. You'll see, I believe, on the bottom right where it says the credit summary, all the credits that you need to graduate. At the bottom where it says totals in all cap, that middle column where it says completed at the top is what you want to circle. This means at this point, halfway through this school year, this is what you have completed in regards to credit. So I want you to circle that so you know how many credits you have completed. The next step is to just look at your transcript, whether it's 1 semester or 6 semesters, and circle any F that you see on the transcript, as Fs will not count as a completed class for graduation. That is essential. So find any F, if you have any, and circle them. Those grades will not be transferred onto the next document. So you just want to make sure you mark those to see where you are. Okay, and once the F's have been circled, we're going to go ahead and move on to the other form. So on the graduation worksheet, it is organized by subjects and classes, semesters, or quarters, depending. PE is quarter system. So you're going to transfer your grades over to this form. You want to use a pencil in case you need to erase, and you want to go in order by semester just for organization and so that you don't get confused or lost. So you're going to transfer all grades that are D's or better from your transcript to the boxes in which they belong. So look at your transcript and we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, do not transfer any F's to this form. Where you would have put an F, you're going to circle it instead, knowing that that class still needs to be met in order to graduate. So we're going to look at a semester example of a freshman, Ferris Bueller, as we know, who first semester was at Fountain Valley and received these scores. So on the form, you're going to see the yellow boxes where these courses would go. So on your form, looking at your 9th grade fall semester, you're going to transfer your grades over. The first grade is English, followed by Algebra 1. And if you want to write the courses for your math and your sciences and your languages, etc., you can write them in the top. If you'll notice right here, it says Algebra 1 was written in, and down here Spanish 2. Feel free to write in the course with the grade. So this Ferris received a B in English, a B in Algebra 1, a D in Accelerated Bio, which is great for graduation. It meets the requirements. Spanish 2, a B, choir, an A, and we're going to count that as an elective right now. And then PE, if you'll notice, there's 2 grades for PE because, again, it's a quarter system. So transferring both the A and the B, 8 quarters or 4 semesters are needed for PE requirement. So this is what the first semester should look like. You've transferred over 6 courses, 2 PE, and then the 5 subject matters, academic subjects. And we're going to move on to second semester of freshman year. And for that, we're looking at the green boxes. And you'll notice the student received 2 Fs second semester. So those grades will not be transferred. So let's walk through this. Look at your English grade from second semester of your freshman year. You're going to transfer that over. Algebra 1B or Intro to Algebra, whatever you took. Accelerated Bio. So where the student failed, where Ferris Bueller failed right here, that grade transfers over to here, but because it was an F, we're going to go ahead and circle this, meaning that this still needs to be met in order to meet the graduation requirements. So this grade will not transfer because it has to be a D or higher. Some people say D is for diploma, C is for college. So for graduation purposes, all Ds and above get transferred. And then Spanish, 2B, also Ferris failed, and therefore there's a circle there because, again, Fs don't count toward graduation. Choir A, PEB, PEC. So far, there are 2 classes that need to be recovered in order to graduate. So take a few moments to just transfer over your second semester of your freshman year, unless your freshman year already done, and then you can just wait or skip ahead toward the end with what now. So Ferris moves on to sophomore year, semester 1, the fall, here at Huntington, and Ferris received an F in English, so another circle on the transcript. World History a B, Geometry B, Earth Science C, Spanish 2 B. Now, I'm going to give you some time to fill in your specific grades, but I want you to notice that Spanish 2A, the student failed Spanish second semester as a freshman, but this B validates and remediates this grade. So now where that F was, a B is there. So this language fine arts CTE requirement has been met. And then PE, a D, which transfers, and a PE again, which transfers. So at this point, after a year and a half of school, this student is 2 classes behind. And what I wanted to process with you is the importance of passing classes. This B right here that replaced the F, had that F not been and the student would have passed this the second semester of freshman year, this B would have been an elective credit. So that requirement would have been met, the B that was received would have gone there, and so the electives are now being added to, and 13 elective semesters are required for graduation. Anytime a requirement is completed, so after the student finishes 2 more quarters of PE, if the student plays sports, those PE grades or those athletic grades will go into electives. Once the science requirement is met, if a student goes on and takes more life science, those life science grades will go down here as elective credit. So this is just the basics to walk you through how to understand your transcript and to realize what you need for graduation requirements. Some random facts that you might need to know depending on your grade level or what classes you're taking is the following. If you're an ELD or a LEP student for your English courses, LEP ELD students, so LEP is counted for your English, so you would write the LEP grade into English, and ELD is counted as an elective. If you are a junior taking oceanography, the first semester would remediate. It counts as a physical science. So if you fail your physical science as a sophomore or freshman, but take oceanography and pass in the fall semester, you can use that oceanography grade to make up that physical science. And in the second semester, you can use your passing grade as a life science remediation grade. Sports medicine doesn't meet the life or physical science requirement. It counts as an elective. For math, algebra prep or algebra readiness is a math credit, but algebra support is an elective credit. And for PE, again, they're graded by quarter, not semester, which is why there are 8. So the final things just to observe is you're going to look at this document that you've written all your grades on and circled any Fs that you've received, and you want to look at how many boxes have empty circles in them. Once you've done that, you're going to write that number down here on the bottom right of this form so that you have it clearly as an essential. You have 2 classes or 3 or 0 to make up. The second thing you want to do is go back to your transcript and look at your total completed credits, that middle column where you circled. Okay, with that, what you're going to do is you're going to transfer it to here, total credits completed. So this student has 70 completed credits based upon the 3 semesters. As semester 1 of 10th grader, after finishing semester 1, students should have 90 credits, which means this student is now 4 classes or 20 credits short of graduation, which should allow the student to take summer school classes or extra elective classes or however that works, but at least the student is now aware, or you're aware of what you need to take. So pay attention to how many credits you're behind at this point of your high school journey. So if you're a freshman, you should be here. If you're a 10th grader, you should be here. If you're 11th grader, you should be here, etc. And then after reviewing your transcripts, please write down questions you have for your guidance specialist right here. It says remember to write questions you have. Just turn the paper over. As you register online through Aries, you're going to have a chance to meet with your guidance specialist and go over any questions or discuss the classes that you've selected for next year. So when all's said and done, this form and going over the transcripts is really to benefit you. And this is how you start to understand how to read your transcript so you're not at the mercy of the other people who can, just look at it for you. It makes sense to you. It becomes clear how on target you are to graduate. You recognize the importance of passing your classes with a D or better. So sometimes when you're at 56%, if you can push a little bit harder and get that grade up to a D, knowing that it'll count for graduation, we're hoping that that will help. You can see academic areas of strength and weakness that might be assistance to you with appropriate classes. So if you see that you're really good in math or you really love science and you do well, that might be something that you want to pursue even as elective courses. Your parents can easily understand graduation requirements and see what you need and support you. And of course, you can be a self-advocate, knowing what you need to graduate. So if you have questions about this, you can stop by the lounge during the following dates and times. There's going to be support for you, guidance specialists, Mrs. Young, Miss Brazenly. We'll have a variety of people here who can walk you through where you might have questions. Mondays, Tuesdays, or Thursdays at lunch. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays in the lounge during 5th period, 6th period, or after school until 4. Stop on in. We'll go over your transcripts and that form and make sure to answer the questions. And then don't forget to write down the questions for your guidance specialist so you can have them answered before you register to make sure that those questions get answered. So the next thing you're going to do is once you've done this and you've looked online and you've watched the videos that the guidance specialists have provided through the website, you're going to register for classes. And to do that, we're, for the first time, registering online. Go to hboilers.com, click on the Academics tab, and then you can go down to the bottom. It says Pick Your Classes Now. Once you've done that, you're going to go online and pick your classes based on what's available for your grade and what you need. And then your guidance specialists have arranged a time to meet with you during your English class to review your online course selection. And your English teacher should be able to tell you when you have a scheduled date for that. So take some time, review your transcript, transfer your grades. If you need help, it is here for you. And once you're done, go online, select appropriate classes. And if you need to remediate some classes, those are great questions for your guidance specialists.